like money, motherfucker? Money be green. Money feel like money. That shit look green to you?
Yeah, and I mean, when you take a look at the odds, Regis Prograis is a minus 1,600 straight up on the money line. And then you got Danielito Zorrilla, who is a plus 840. You know, for all your fellow Puerto Ricans out there that are going hard for a guy like Zorrilla. Bryan, how are you betting this fight, and kind of break it down for me?
So first of all, this was minus 1,000 or minus 1,100 like a week or two ago. And I don't know what pushed it to minus 1,600. Maybe people just did a little bit of research. But look, I think Danielito Zorrilla is skilled. He's credible. He has the loss to Arnold Barbosa and then beat a journeyman after, and then suddenly gets a title shot. But look, he's here. I think minus 1,600 is too much. Like I think minus 1,000 was fine. Minus 800 would be good.
Yeah.
Because I do think Danielito Zorrilla, you could talk yourself into him having a puncher's chance, but personally, I don't see it. I think Regis Prograis is going to win this fight. It'll be, you know, Zorrilla will have some moments early on, a couple early on, but I think Regis will take over the course of this fight and win by knockout, stoppage, KO or TKO between rounds 7 and 12. That's my bet. Minus 120. I just think that he's going to break him down over the course of the fight, similar to what we saw him do against Jose Zepeda in November. So I think it'll be competitive early, but Regis Prograis, look, this is in his hometown for a reason. This is in New Orleans for a reason. This is a replacement challenger who's getting in there in short notice for Liam Paro. Danielito Zorrilla is sort of being set up to fail. And if he doesn't have a career performance, then, you know, this would be a second loss for him. And it's shaping up to be that way. And it's not knock. It's just Regis Prograis is that good. Like, he's arguably right now the best at 140 pounds. Teofimo Lopez has also inserted himself into this conversation, having beaten Josh Taylor, who had beaten Regis Prograis. Them two got a fight at some point, but now Teofimo Lopez is saying he's retired. I don't know. But my bet is Regis Prograis to win by stoppage between rounds 7 and 12, minus 120.
All right, yeah. You know what? If you want some value, I'm actually betting the same way. I'm going Prograis in rounds 7 through 12, which you can find alternate betting on FanDuel, and it's a minus 120 because that's where the value is at, because Vegas actually thinks Regis Prograis is going to win by knockout or TKO. That's a minus 380, so not a lot of value there. And of course, if you take him straight up on the money line, that's a minus 1,600, so no good value there as well. I do actually think this is a fight where people are thinking that he's just going to walk through a guy like Zorrilla. I actually don't think that's going to happen. Like you mentioned, you could talk yourself into sprinkling on Zorrilla, but I don't think that's going to happen. But listen, he does have power. That one loss was against Arnold Barbosa Jr., and he had some moments in that fight. I think his biggest issue is probably his conditioning issue. So I think he's going to start off pretty good, but he's going to fade out by like round 5, round 6, which he usually does. But I think he picks his shots really well. You know, Regis does get landed on, and I think Zorrilla is going to definitely have some moments in this fight. But for me, it's like Zorrilla, for him to win this fight, he has to let his hands go. And we all know that his right hand is his best punch, right? That's where the power really lies. Regis Prograis, though, all around better in every category by a lot, in my opinion. He's got raw power, real power. He's a power puncher. He's throwing every shot pretty much with power. You can hear it. Nice left hook, nice jab. He can also take a punch. So that's exactly what I can't wait to see in this fight, because Zorrilla does have power, but I think Regis is going to be able to take those punches because that's what we've seen him do in the past, and he's a great counterpuncher. A very good counterpuncher, and he is the aggressor. This is actually, I think, going to be a very entertaining fight, but in the end, I just see a guy like Regis Prograis winning in round 7 through 12, minus 120. Keep in mind, though, that Zorrilla has never been stopped before. He's lost, but he's never been knocked out before or stopped before. So that's something to keep in mind. He is really tough. He is a really good fighter. And to be honest with you, everyone was a little bit more hype about Liam Paro because I know he's made himself quite the name out there in Australia. But to be honest with you, I actually think Danielito Zorrilla is a very formidable opponent. And if we are going to get a massive fight from Regis Prograis later in the year, which Eddie Hearn hopes to give us, let's hope it's Subriel Matias if he does officially sign over with Matchroom, or maybe he stays with PBC and we don't even get that fight. Hopefully not. So possibly Regis and Jack Catterall seems to be the most likely. Nonetheless, I would like to see, you know, Regis have a great performance, and I think he will because it's in New Orleans. So I just want to see him fight because I do believe he's the king at 140. And hey, you never know. What if Teofimo Lopez ends up going to a guy like Eddie Hearn and signing with Matchroom? And then you potentially have Teofimo Lopez there, potentially have Super Matias there. Where is Devin Haney going? Is he staying with Top Rank? Apparently, there was 3 fights offered to him by Top Rank, and Shakur Stevenson wasn't one of them, according to Devin Haney.
He deleted that tweet, by the way.
Yeah. But that's how I'm rolling. I think round 7 through 12, and I think Zorrilla is going to gas out during that time. Regis wins, but I think Zorrilla has some moments in this fight for sure.
I think Regis is eager to put on a show. He's been saying that. He's been indicating that. I think you'll see some pressure from him. That's going to be interesting because I don't think that he's someone who's going to start slow here. I think he's going to be ready to put on a show in New Orleans. And look, Danielito Zorrilla has never been stopped. Regis has stopped guys before who have never been stopped. He's done it. He's done it throughout. Good. Yeah, he's done it throughout his career. He's beaten some guys even who are undefeated, like Diaz on the Showbox card, which was like one of his breakout performances, right? Like this is what he does, and I think there's a world where if I may throw in a sprinkle, this going to the cards, it's not crazy.
Yes.
Right?
Plus 500. It's plus 500.
Plus 500. That's not crazy. Danielito Zorrilla is tough. Was not dropped by Arnold Barbosa.
But Arnold Barbosa doesn't have like the power that Regis has.
Exactly what I was going to say. Regis Prograis, very different puncher from Arnold Barbosa. No disrespect. And
stylistically, they're just different fighters. That's the way I would put it.
This is going to be a pressure fight. This will be in the phone booth at times. And I think Regis Prograis, he's going to be mixing in some straight left hands and some left uppercuts as well. It's going to be very fun to see him in New Orleans. We haven't seen him in New Orleans in a while, and Danielito Zorrilla is going to be on the road here. But I think if he accounts well for himself, like we'll see him again in another big fight. If he has a strong showing, even if he gets stopped, he's somebody that we could see again if he's just impactful in the ring on Saturday in New Orleans.
And I think he wants that big performance too, because I think a lot of people are waiting to kind of see what he does. We've seen what, Teofimo Lopez has done. Ryan Garcia and Tank were just in a massive fight as well. And Regis should be on that same caliber where we are getting those massive fights and people are talking about him. I want to have a fight party for a Regis Prograis fight at one point, and hopefully we get that before the end of the year. But this is a performance where he's having it in his backyard of New Orleans, where he's originally from, currently resides in Houston, of course. And by the way, if you haven't seen the Regis Prograis interview, we interviewed him not too long ago. Make sure to go check it out. When we asked him who he wanted to see in the ring, Tank Davis was one of the names that he really wanted to see in the ring. And of course, we know the back and forth between him and Teofimo Lopez. Teofimo Lopez Sr. as well has gone into that. So make sure to go check out that Regis Prograis interview that we did about 2 months ago. Very good interview, very humble guy. So definitely looking forward to this fight. Bryan, before we get up out of here, any final thoughts on this?
No, just continue supporting the channel, please. We've been putting a lot of shit out. We were at the Spence Crawford presser, posted a lot of stuff from there. And we have a lot more coming at fights on location, but also just interviews and things of that nature. So this is going to be a very big summer for us. And we appreciate the support.